Hi, welcome back to Examining Life, a life that's worth living. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Amanda, and today I am back at Walden Pond at the site of where Thoreau's cabin used to stand. And today's question is inspired by one of his quotes that I will put here. Quote, "I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life, and see if I could not learn what it had to teach, and not, when I came to die, discover that I had not lived." End quote. And that really got me thinking, and I think that's really interesting as to how to live more consciously. And I think it's fascinating that he was able to do so by living alone in the forest for 2 years. So today's question is, how can we live more deliberately? And before we move on, thank you to everyone who has subscribed so far. If you haven't, please click the red rectangle to subscribe. Also, I'd like to thank my patrons. Thank you very much for your support. I greatly appreciate it. So, who am I speaking with today?
My name is Danielle.
What do you think is needed to live deliberately? Because one of the reasons that he came to live in the woods was to live deliberately. So how would you answer that?
I think in order to live deliberately, we need to be self-examining.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we need to be taking a look at our actions daily and all of our interactions.
What are some questions that we should ask ourselves to self-reflect and that sort of thing?
I mean, to me, I think that I try to think, is this my best self? Am I being my best self? I know what my best self can look like. Is that a representation right now of that person who I know I can be?
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
So who am I speaking with today?
My name is Manjinder Singh.
What do you think is necessary to live deliberately?
Try to seek alternatives and then to choose the alternative that you want.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's deliberative, because to seeking alternatives, you need to actually think about where you are, where you can go, what you're capable of, what's available, and then it requires you to choose. Whereas the other alternative is you kind of just live your life, let the flow happen, which is also honestly a valid thing. You have chosen to do that.
Right, kind of go with the flow. And, live spontaneously. How do you think one can live deliberately?
What do you think that means, first of all?
I suppose I would interpret it as consciously.
In the way that you want to live?
Yeah.
I mean, because then that gets into, that's a very individual thing.
Right.
Because I also write and I have to work, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm married.
Okay.
So I have those relationships, and I have my best friend.
Yeah.
So other relationships become much more difficult to fit into all of that.
Yeah.
So there's always a question of, I'm not a very social person. I'm an introvert.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So where does the social and the living just what you want to live, having time for your own personal interests come together?
Absolutely.
If your personal interests are not social.
Right. And prioritizing and time management and other things that are unexpected come up.
Exactly.
So then, how do you fit those things in?
Exactly.
So who am I speaking with today?
Hi, you're speaking to ROC Panda.
How would you say one can live deliberately?
Most important thing for us to recognize is the amount of resources we consume almost unintentionally. So whenever we buy something or take something with us, we should recognize where it comes from and where it goes to at the end of use.
Yeah.
And that would be hugely impactful if people could see and recognize every time they use something. Oh, I'm using this spoon, where is it coming from, where is it going? I'm using this bottle, I'm using this backpack, I'm using this vehicle, where is the fuel coming from? So any of that, any kind of deliberate reflection on where the resources are coming from and where they're ending up at the end of use.
Because as consumers, we typically just want the item, but we don't really put that much thought into it. And then also, obviously, then we could make better decisions as far as how we use something, how long we use it for. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments below how you think we can live more deliberately. Thank you. Happy travels. Bye.